Good morning, and welcome to today's episode of My PI Dream. Today is Sunday, and of course you know Sunday there's no workout at the development because there's restrictions that say there's no work allowed during that day. So the workers who have off today, I won't be out to the site today, but today I'm going to take advantage of the time to do what I normally do on Sundays. I do my general house chores, wash some clothes, and I get a chance to speak with my family back in the United States. So without further delay, let's get today's video underway. Alrighty now, we have got laundry done, and we are about to do some lunch, but I got a lot of stuff accomplished this morning. I got the laundry, like I said, it's done. I have the bathrooms all clean and sanitized, kitchen dishes all washed, the floors all swept. I could do a little bit of cleanup on my desk over here, but that's easy stuff. All the floors mopped, so it's nice and clean. Obviously you hear that sound. That's my bucket that's gonna fill up my reserve emergency bucket of water, because you know about my water problem here. So I had to use all my reserve water this morning to actually do all the cleaning with. But hey, I'm not complaining. That's life here, and I accept it. Easy peasy. So anyway, I want to talk about some topics that are off the subject of the construction. There were some questions for this week and the past week, and I get private messages and emails. People ask me questions about how do you actually move funds over to the Philippines from your accounts, or how do you actually get the money over there so that you can actually fund your building process. So I'm going to grab some lunch, and then after lunch we'll discuss a little bit on that topic. So lunch out of the way now, I want to discuss a topic that's near and dear to my heart, and I've been receiving a lot of questions on this specific topic, and it's the topic of how do I transfer money into the Philippines so I have access to my funds. And it doesn't matter whether in the US or you're in any country around the world, the processes are going to be very similar. You're just going to have different types of banks, and there's going to be different rules and regulations that you have from each one of them. So what I'm going to do today, I'm going to share with you my experience as a retiree in the Philippines and building a home. How do I access funds so that I can actually do these things? I can have daily living expenses taken care of, and I can actually fund my contractor so we can actually build a house. Now, typically, the typical way of thinking is most people go to places like YouTube, and they do Google searches on the internet, and they look for answers to their questions about how do I do that. Well, on YouTube, I did the same thing, and it's similar to a comment I got today from one of my subscribers. He said, well, he did the same thing, and what you're going to find on YouTube mostly are folks that are coming over here, and they're actually coming over to meet with their girlfriend, or they're coming over on a tourist visa, and it's short term, and they're pulling small amounts out of their account, trying to access small amounts to do vacation items and things like that. I'm not directing at those type of activities and those people who are using it for those purposes. What I'm directing today's topic and my experience is for long-term and larger amounts for doing things like building projects. Now, so the three basic services that I've had experience with when it comes to moving money over to the Philippines is going to be international transfer services like Zoom and Western Union and Remitly. All those kind of services are services, they're online services, and some you can actually go to a pickup point and pick up some money, or you can have money directly inside your bank account. You can have it sent over, or you can actually go into remittance type of service centers inside malls and things like that, and you can pick up money. But again, those are going to be targeted to those folks that I was talking about earlier that are actually just coming over here and they need small amounts. Although you can get larger sums of money, especially with Western Union, get larger sums of money. But what I found, and we've used Western Union before, but what I found works out for me is not any of those services. There's also foreign exchange, international foreign exchange services that are out there other than the typical online services I'm talking about. And these are also online, but these are the larger organizations that are set up for businesses and people who are actually moving large sums of money from their country to the Philippines. And we'll talk about that. And the third option is going to be bank-to-bank transfers, which is actually what I used, and I'll get into that as well. And I find that works the best for these. So let's move the first services out of the way. The Remitly, the Zoom, which Zoom actually was purchased or acquired by PayPal, which was acquired by eBay, and I think they went over to, I think Zoom went over to PayPal in 2015, if I remember correctly. So now these services like Remitly, Zoom, and Western Union, they all have a common theme, and that's basically the transfer money. But the amounts of money that you have are usually, for most people's purposes, are smaller amounts. Again, Western Union, I said we've used it, and we have done larger sums with Western Union. But the catch to using any of these services is the exchange rate, and the exchange rate is extremely unkind to you as the consumer moving money from your home country to the Philippines. Case in point, today I checked it on each one of these sites, and I went to Remitly. And Remitly's exchange rate, if you're moving money from US dollars to Philippine pesos, I don't know what it is for the other country. I'm only going to do from my experience because I'm from the United States and I can give you these quotes. But today, and this is Sunday, the exchange rate in Philippine pesos is 48.93 on Remitly. I went to Zoom. Zoom's exchange rate is 48.83. And I don't know what the exchange rate is on Western Union now, but I know it's not a really good exchange rate compared to bank exchange rates. Now, the international rate today is somewhere around, which is the bank-to-bank exchange rate, is somewhere around 50 around 20. I didn't actually look at it. I've been tracking it all last week, and it's been up and down, just above 50 and just below 50. But it's been consistently, mostly around between 50.05, and it went up to around somewhere around 50.30, somewhere in that range. So, and that's actually pretty good. That's some of the best exchange rates that I've been tracking over the 5 years that I've been looking at the exchange. Now, that's those services that I was talking about, the Zoom, the Remitly, the Western Union. And there are probably dozens out there. If you want to do your research, you can actually go online and look at these. Now, I also want to talk about what a friend recommended to me. I was staying with a gentleman at a Airbnb over here in Mount Meloriah, and he's actually a builder over here, and he's from the United Kingdom. And he was, we got into the topic of discussion of how did you move money over here when you started building your own home. And he actually has built 26 houses, and he's a contractor himself, and he's helped me out with my construction process. So anyway, and I valued his opinion, and I said, what have you been doing to fund your account over here? And what he told me was he used foreign exchange services. So I asked him what specific foreign exchange service that he used, and he used Forex. Forex has recently changed. And the name of the online exchange for Forex now is OFX. But it's the same company, and the policies and everything are the same. But it was actually Forex when I actually checked some information on that company, and they were great. And there's many companies out there that are like, they're large foreign exchange transfer services. And this one is actually out of the UK, which most of them are out of the UK. There's some in some places like, I think, UAE and Dubai and things like that. But most of the really big ones, I believe, are in the United Kingdom. And this company was very good. I set up an account with them, and almost immediately after I set up the account, and on the account you tell them a certain amount that you're expecting to exchange, and immediately I got a phone call from the United Kingdom over here in the Philippines, and I spoke with the agent that services customers over here in the Philippines, and I answered a few questions, and what he told me, he said, okay, this is what I can do for you. And Forex said, oh yeah, it's going to be no problem. He's going to ask you what bank that you are a part of, that you're trying to exchange money out of. And I told him what it was. Mine is Bank of America. And he said, no problem. We deal. That's one of the banks that we're authorized to do. And they're going to ask you if you're in the U.S. Again, this is my experience. If you're in Europe, or if you're in Asia, or if you're in Southwest Asia or Africa, no matter what, they're going to ask you the same questions. So I don't know, your mileage amount may vary with all different countries, so you'll have to ask yourself. So I said I was from this state in the United States, and he looked it up and he said, yep, we'll have no problem transferring funds out. Then the next thing was, how much is the exchange rate? What am I going to get exchanged over to the Philippines? And they actually do the exchange rate from my dollar account into Philippine pesos, and I will speak about that a little bit in just a moment. But the exchange rate that they were giving me at the time was not as bad as these smaller services like Zoom and Remitly and Western Union, but it was not nearly as favorable as the international exchange rate from bank to bank, which you'll never get that. And it wasn't nearly as good as if I have US dollars in the Philippines and I go to any of these banks around here and exchange the monies from dollars to pesos at those banks. And I believe at the time the exchange rate was around $49.85, and if I remember correctly, his exchange rate was around $49.30, which again, that's better than the 48 pesos to the over 50 peso rate today that all these smaller online services are actually providing. So that would probably be the next, if you were going in a line of how to select a way to transfer money over, that would probably be number 2 out of 3. So with OFX, I looked at their exchange rate for today, if you were to exchange money using their service, and their exchange rate is $1 equals 49.09 pesos. So if I went to the bank today, which the banks are actually open on Saturday and Sunday in the Philippines, and you can actually exchange money on the weekend. They're open 7 days a week here. You would get a rate of approximately, I think when I was there yesterday, I think it was 50.05 or something like that. Like I said, it's been in that range. So almost 1 entire peso. Okay. And you're thinking to yourself, 1 peso, oh, 1 peso is not that much. Well, 1 peso is not that much if you're exchanging $100. But you can see if you start exponentially moving those zeros around that you would actually be spending a lot of money or losing a lot of money in the exchange rate with just 1 peso. Now let me talk to you about what works best for me and is the most economical for transferring sums of money for long-term living expenses or big building projects over here. And that's doing a bank-to-bank transfer or working with your bank in your home country and moving funds over to this bank over here without using any of those services. And I'll explain why, in my experience, why it works the best and it's the least expensive. So if you have a bank in your country and you want to move money over to your account over here, I have an account with BDO. There are many banks over here, Metro Bank, BPI, BDO, you can go online, you can look. BDO is actually well established up here, and I highly recommend them because I've had very good experiences with BDO, and especially the BDO branch where I do my transfers at Robinson's. The people in there are absolutely marvelous inside there, and I can't say enough about the managers and the staff, the friendly staff inside there to help you out doing your transfers. So anyway, so what you do is you need your information from your bank account in the Philippines that you've opened up already, and it's going to be a SWIFT code and it's going to be a bank account number. So you go back to your bank in your home country, and what you're going to do, and I'll give you the example of what I did with Bank of America. You go inside there and you set up a little profile inside your bank account. You can do this online. You can do this online from the Philippines. You don't even have to be in your own home country. So you set up this profile inside there, and you basically say, at some point I want to transfer money from my account here, like for me at Bank of America, and I want to transfer it over to BDO. You pre-put this information inside, you preload the information, and basically that's a SWIFT code and your account number over here. And it will go inside there, and at Bank of America what they do, they have a list of all the banks that they deal with on a day-to-day basis in the Philippines. And mine was there, BDO was there. I select that one, I put my SWIFT code again and my account number, and boom, my account is all set up. So the next thing you're going to do is you're going to actually transfer funds over. So what you're going to do is, I'll give you an example right here on my online account. So you go on, you log on to your account, you're going to select transfers on the tab. Again, each bank might be differently, but I imagine they are generally similar to the way you would do a bank-to-bank transfer. Then for my bank, I just go under the transfers tab, then I go down to other banks. Then it's going to take me to a tab that says make transfer. All right. So what I'll do is I will go in that from my account, and you just select the account that you have, your checking or your savings account in your home country, or for Bank of America for me, this one. And then it's going to say to. Who am I going to send it to? Well, since you already preloaded your profile in there, your bank account in the Philippines is already there, you just select that one. Okay, so I want you to see the little warning caution symbol inside there. Then it says, the country you selected is slow to pay country, which means the country is slow to process transfers and has caused delays in the past. It may take longer for money to become available. Well, I haven't seen that issue. I've heard about it years ago, but I think the way the global economy is actually getting closer and more close-knit together, and the regulations and everything, it's actually becoming easier and easier to transfer funds into the Philippines. So I will give you a case in point. For this account right here, if I do a request for a transfer on a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or a Thursday, I found it literally only takes 24 hours from my bank account in the US to the bank account in the Philippines and BDO. It's available. I can actually access the money the very next day. If you do it on things like Fridays from your home country to the Philippines, or the weekends or holidays, expect more days. And I'll give you an example also of when I did a transfer on a Friday. I didn't have access to my money until the next Tuesday, because it goes through the weekend system, and I'm not sure which end the issue is. Is it the issue on my account in the States, the Philippines, or a little bit of both? But my recommendation is to try to do the transfer on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday. It's a regular banking day, 24 hours when your money is transferred over. And then once you've selected this is a biggie right here. When you open up an account in the Philippines, open up both a peso account and open up an account for whatever country it is that you're coming from. Now, I can't really speak for all the other countries except for the United States. If you are coming from the United States and you're doing this from a United States bank, you can open up a dollar account. You might not be able to open up like an Italian account, and I doubt it. But since a lot of the economy is based on the U.S. dollar, you will find in a lot of foreign countries that you can actually open up U.S. dollar accounts. It seems to be the currency standard around the world. So anyway, make sure you have a dollar account and a peso account. Why? Because if you transfer money from your home country and you do the exchange with the transfer, you're going to get one of those bad exchange rates like I was explaining, or a less or worse exchange rate than you will get if you have dollars in this country and you're at a bank and you want to exchange money at the bank. I will tell you, even the gentleman that I spoke to at that was the representative for Forex when I contacted him, and I told him what rate I got in the Philippines, and he was extremely surprised. He said, "Yeah, you better go with them because I can't even give you an exchange rate like that." So it's very important to have a U.S. dollar account if you're from the United States, and then when you have the money successfully transferred over to the dollar account over here, then what you do is you look at the exchange rate, and what I do, and my recommendation is, keep an eye. If you don't need access to your money immediately, the exchange rate fluctuates from day to day. And what you might want to do is keep an eye on it, visit, or even as, like I said, the folks at my account, my BDO bank at Robinson, these people are so helpful. I give them a flag to give me a call when the exchange rate reaches a certain point. And they will call, talking about customer service, these people will call me up personally from the bank, and even the bank manager there has actually called me up and said, the exchange rate is here, you should come down and exchange today because you will get a better deal. And I do, and it works out really well. So I use that. Now, there's a caveat to the amounts of money that you can transfer from your account in your foreign country to the Philippines. And it's going to vary from bank to bank to bank to country to country to country. I am only going to give you an example of the Bank of America, and it's from the United States to the Philippines. Now, if you are just trying to just do nothing but a wire transfer from your account, and you don't have any measures of security, it's going to be very low. I don't know what those numbers are, but I spoke with a representative of Bank of America, and their recommendation to me was to use a security token called SafePass. SafePass is, if you've ever used a security token, maybe to log on to your email or your corporate accounts when you're working for a company, that gives you a layer of security. Basically what the token is you have some way to generate a code. The code is linked by an algorithm that there's a central server device somewhere within the banking system, and they match up. Code from them, I put it in, and allows me to do larger transfers. So that's important. And the amount that you can transfer may vary bank to bank to bank. So you would have to contact your own bank to see what's the maximum amount that you can transfer. But I will tell you, with Bank of America, the amounts using SafePass, once you're validated using the SafePass program, it's quite a large amount of money, and it's the amount that you would need if you are moving funds over to do things like building a house. Now, once you've transferred your money using Bank of America, another one of the great things that they do, either when you're doing the transfer on the bank site, on the online bank site, you will get the opportunity to print a receipt, just like any financial transaction that you would do at any bank. At the very end, it'll say receipt. You would click it, and you can save it as a PDF file, and then you would keep that. Now, it's important that you do this. And why is it important? Well, it's going to be important if you're an American and you have a U.S. bank. I don't know how it works in other foreign countries, but in the United States, you're required to report any funds that you have in a bank account over the amount of $10,000. And I'm not actually going to get into that. You can actually go online and you can do research about the form that you need to do, and it's basically, it's not really for tax purposes. It has to do with international money laundering, things like that. So in the United States, they want to know the funds that are going out and the purpose of why it's going out. And it's very simple when you actually do the reporting. And all you have to basically say, I'm using it, I'm building a house, I have this reason, I have that reason, but they want to know. And if it's from the banks, and even in the banks, when you do money transfer inside the bank, they're going to ask you that same question on the withdrawal slip that you're taking out of your dollar account and you're putting inside your peso account. So that, for me, is the way it works the best. Oh, the report, it's called FBAR. a report on foreign bank and financial accounts. It's a financial crimes enforcement network, FinCEN, Form 114. And that's what we have to deal with in the United States. I don't know what you have to do in the other countries. And there's a date that you have to do this by, but usually it's like the next year. If you do it like in 2017, you don't have to report the activity until the following year, into 2018. And I believe this report you can do it online, and you can send the information. I said I wasn't going to talk about this, but I'm going to talk about it just a little bit. And I think the cutoff is a certain date in April. I think it used to be in sometime in the summer, like June, July, something like that. But I think now it's in April, and I'm not really worried about it right now. But I will make sure that I do that before April in 2018 for any transaction that I've done in 2017. So I hope this information helps you. I hope I didn't confuse you. But again, my disclaimer is this is what works best for me. Your mileage may vary, and if anybody else has any other information and they want to contribute to the comment section inside there, what works for you guys, that would be great. And this is all about sharing. And that is the reason I set up this YouTube channel, is to share my experiences, things that work for me, because I looked for such a long time. Literally the last 5 years, I've been trying to prepare for moving over here, and it can be very confusing at times. And I wanted to set up this channel so that people can find it's like one-stop shopping as much as possible, and I could give you good, valid information so you can make a successful transfer if you're deciding to retire inside the Philippines. Again, so if you got good information from me today and you enjoyed today's video, please give me a thumbs up, and please share this with your friends. And if you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe. And I hope to see you tomorrow on the job site at Villa Feliz, and that will be day, I think it's day 7 of the build, of the actual build. So I will see you there. Take care and have a great day.